welcome to this week's show. We have got a guest tonight, my wife Paula. She wanted to come in and talk a little bit about catfishing and catfish conservation. Of course, we'll go over lake levels and all the normal stuff as well. So stay tuned. After a couple quick words from some sponsors, we'll be right back with this week's show.
Okay, there you go. Sit down and get coordinated.
You need a bigger studio, Dean. I've never been in a big radio station. So.
All right. Kidding? This is a big radio.
Oh, yeah.
You should see some of them I worked in. I've had more room in phone booths. Okay, when this comes out of this, I'll hit you. I'll go ahead and turn both mics on.
Okay.
Hold that one around right in front of you, you don't mind.
Pull it to you a little bit. There you go.
Are you going to be looking at the camera, or are you going to be looking? Okay, you need to just talk right into that, and that should get you on the camera still. Okay. I'll take you on the way up. I can't tell very well, but I just don't want to get that mic in front of your face. But get it close enough so you can hear it. So.
I wished it was pointed down a little bit better.
There you go.
But I need something under it. I'm going to do this.
You ready, Ken?
All right.
All right.
Ready?
You're on.
All right, we're back, and welcome Paula to the show. Now, she is streaming this live on her Facebook. Is it Facebook?
Yeah.
And we just we got to put her camera. I can't be on there, and actually, it's probably better off not being on there because I do have that radio face, as a lot of people say. So I'm better off without it. But before we get in talking, Paula, let me quickly go over some of the lake levels. Of course, it is getting on that springtime of the year when a lot of people start thinking about heading out towards the water and catching a fish. So I thought I'd share that. And of course, with all the rainfall in the Tennessee River Valley, do want to concentrate mainly on how bad the river situations are right now. Tennessee River, help me, it was a 400, almost 500,000 cubic feet were going out of Kentucky Dam here about a week or so ago. They're actually down now. Kentucky Dam's only spilling about 215,000, about 160,000 coming in out of Pickwick right now. And water levels have started to recede. Actually, today here at New Johnsonville, we were about 358.5. TVA is reporting that sometime by midweek that we should be in and around the 356 mark, which is still a couple foot above summer pool. Now, water temperatures are still pretty warm for this time of year, 49, 50 degrees, and it looks like we're getting some warm rain coming in this early week, and that's really going to bump those water temperatures up and really kick fishing into high gear. But as always, I want to remind people, it's still wintertime. It's very dangerous to be out there on that lake if you're not familiar with the water. This strong of a flow, combine that with a lot of wind, and bad things can happen quick. On that note, I do want to mention, and Paula, you hadn't heard anything yet, have you? We had that boating accident down at Pickwick.
So far, they haven't found it.
And we haven't heard anything on that, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions on that. And of course, now that I have retired from TWRA, I'm not in the know on that right now. But other than what the media has been putting out there. Also in TWRA news, though, I want to remind people starting Sunday that you're going to have to get a new hunting fishing license. It is that time of the year when the licenses go out and the new ones start, always from March 1st all the way through the end of February is our license years. And of course, TWRA does that mainly to say that you go from hunting seasons to fishing seasons and you're not having anything interfere with having to stop and go get a license. But March 1st is when you need to get it. And of course, you can do that in any of the Reel System vendors. Of course, here in Humphreys County, that's going to be both of the Casey's the Casey's General Stores, New Johnsonville, Waverly, also Walmart, Hunt's Outdoors, and Bud's Market in McEwen. Also, you can go to online. You can get it at GoOutdoorsTennessee.com. And that's one word, GoOutdoorsTennessee.com. You can purchase it there. Also, if you got the mobile app on your cell phone or Android or Apple device, you can download the TWR app and actually renew your license right there, as well as boat registration renewals. While I'm thinking about that, let me pass this word along. I had a question come in this last week about boat renewals. We went over this a couple weeks ago, but it is that time of the year about boat renewals. Now, one of the questions come in is when you got to do it. Now, it all depends on when you registered your boat. Unlike the hunting fishing licenses, boat renewals are from the day that you register it until that year is out. So if you register it, let's say July 1st, it will go all the way through the end of June or end of May, June. So it's a year from when you do it. Now you can renew or register your boat for up to 3 years, 1, 2, or 3 years. The prices are dependent upon how long your boat is. And of course, all that information is easily obtained by going to the TWRA's website, and that's tnwildlife.org. Go in the boating section, you can find all this information. Of course, if you have just purchased a boat, you have to, just like a car, go to your county court clerk, register it, give Uncle Sam their due, and then you have it registered. You'll get a temporary at that point, and it's good until your regular registration comes in. The other question came in, what about registering larger vessels and boats? And I'm assuming they're talking about houseboats as well as these big cruisers. And yes, all boats have to be registered. If it's got a motor or a sail on it, they've got to be registered. Now, some people document their boats, and all that does is keep you from having to put the TN numbers on your boat, but you still have to register it. It still has to be done. Again, the government wants their fair due, so that's when you get to pay all that privilege money and so forth. But that's about all I have is TWRA news at this point. Of course, turkey season's rolling around here at the end of March. More on that as we get a little bit closer. And so we're going to move right in. Oops, I've got one more thing I want to talk about. Many people that do trap, and of course this is a wildlife show, and I want to mention something real quickly about the fur. NAFA, that's North American Fur Takers Association, they're going through bankruptcy right now. So right now, those guys are not purchasing any furs, so they're having some issues. Oh, we got a hunter education class. Thanks, Dean. Down at Cuba Landing Road. Who's teaching this? Larry Bradford is. Coach Bradford is. March 16th and 17th, 2-day class, both days, 8 to 4. You got to attend both days. If you want to get in on that, tnwildlife.org, go to Hunter Education, find a class, and you can actually sign up. The cost of the class is free. All the information that you need will be entered at that tnwildlife.org site. So everybody, here's a good opportunity right before turkey season to get in on the hunter education. But back to the trapping real quick. NAFA has declared bankruptcy, and so they're not buying furs. There are other options around there, and of course, just keep in mind with NAFA going out, the fur trade's not doing well. That's why they're going out, and so you're not going to get as good of a price for some of your furs. And of course, our local fur buyer here, Joey Brake, I haven't talked to him of late, so I need to get hold of him and see what he's got. But he's located up just out of Erin. Actually, it's in Montgomery County, but I think his phone is out of Houston County. But Joey Brake's our local buyer. The only thing that's really selling good right now is coyotes in our area. $30-$40 is going to be your tops. Raccoons and otters and all that just really aren't bringing a whole lot, and that has to do with the suppressed economy both in China, Russia, and Korea. Those are the main purchasers of most of those furs. But if I get any more information, I'll try to pass that on. But I thought I'd share that. The NAFA guys that usually come around, they're out of Kentucky, but they usually come around and buy the furs up and down the interstate sometime around the first week in March. Will not be doing so because NAFA is going through Chapter 11 bankruptcy at this point. All right, now quickly, we're going to go over. We've got we've got about 30 minutes we can talk about it. But both me and Paula went up to the Catfish Conference last weekend and had to give a talk on catfish conservation. And she's got some more stuff that she does want to mention. A good friend of ours, she's mainly a bass fisherman out of Henderson.
Yeah, I would like to mention, everybody out there in the Facebook world, go to Outdoor Media Summit and vote for the woman angler. Her name is Angie Scott. She's local. She's out of Nashville. And every vote for her is a vote for every woman angler. She is a strong supporter of women anglers. and she lives in Nashville. It's just, it doesn't have her name. It just says The Woman Angler. She's, I think, 19 points ahead right now. But I'm telling you guys, she is one super. She drove up to the Catfish Conference to say hi to us. She is all about getting women involved in the outdoors.
And this is her podcast that she
yeah,
does?
It's a vote on who's had the best podcast. And Dieter Melhorn was in it, and Dieter had some great podcasts, but, you know, Angie's in the lead, and I hope she wins. She is an awesome person. She supports us women. You know, she believes that women can do it, and we should get the recognition for it. So go to, I have to use my glasses, go to Outdoor Media Summit, or go to my Facebook page, Paula Cathy Smith, and vote for the Woman Angler, Angie Scott. And now, Ken, you can ask me anything you want, and I'll kick you if you ask me something I don't know the answer to. So keep that in mind.
There's very few things you don't know the answer to. But again, we went up, we were asked by the individual, he puts on the Catfish Conference every year. This is his 5th year.
Steve
And
Douglas.
basically what this is a gathering of like-minded people that go in, and they have different booths and vendors that sell all the different stuff, and it's really, to us, it's a way to go up and see everybody. It's a big reunion.
Yeah, camaraderie, you get to see all the new products. It's something we're going to do for every year.
Yeah.
Steve Douglas puts it on. He puts on an absolute awesome show. He has great seminars. Ken and I did a seminar with Aaron Wheatley over conservation and regulations, and you know, that's something that myself and Ken, and especially Aaron Wheatley, we're very passionate about. We want better regulations, and the state of Tennessee has great regulations, but I want better. You know, I've got a page here. It takes 7 to 8 years for a catfish to be able to reproduce.
Yes.
And it takes 10 years for a blue catfish to reach 34 inches. It takes 10 years for a flathead to reach 26 inches. And it takes 10 years for a channel cat to reach 25 inches. You know, that's a lot of years. And, you know, I'm not bashing commercial fishermen, because in a way they help. But we have got to come together, the new group, American Catfish Association. I am going to give them a chance. I think they're going to help us with our fishing, with, you know, not just out for money. I think they're out to help the angler from the bottom to the top. And
but you know, back to the Catfish Conference. We were talking about, we were asked by Steve Douglas, and many of you that don't get into the catfishing stuff as much as me and Paula do, Steve is the one that started monster rod holders. You see these red and black rod holders that go on these big catfish boats. Probably the best out there, bar none.
They are the best.
You know, he started this, and he decided about 5 years ago that we need something like this, and he started it, and we were privileged that he asked us, knowing Paula's passion and my biological background, to go in and talk a little bit about conservation, particularly when it came to Tennessee's. Aaron did Kentucky. And
Kentucky's making
small steps, but they're getting there.
And what everybody needs to realize is that we can't snap our fingers and make things change. It takes time. Just like in the state of Tennessee, you have to bring this in front of the TWRA commission, you know, if you want to have a
regulation change.
A regulation change. And they meet only every 2 years. But their next time to meet up, Ken and I are going to be there, and we're going to have all kinds of proposals.
Yeah.
It takes time, so we need to stick together and quit dividing.
But you know, we went up there and we talked about, and there was quite a bit of interest in it, and I think the number one issue in the catfishing industry. And guys and girls, the catfishing industry is kind of catching up to bass fishing, as well as crappie. It's on about the crappie tournaments and stuff. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of people that enjoy doing it. And it's like Angie Scott. You know, it doesn't matter you're a man or a woman.
Right. Angie is she ice fishes. She does mostly ice fishing, some bass fishing. I mean, she fishes around the world. She catfishes rarely, and me and her are trying to get a date together so she can come down and go catfishing with me. She's very knowledgeable. She's out of Nashville. She does a guide service out of Nashville, and she is a super, super fine woman. And
guys, be careful. She's going to get us.
who?
Angie and Paula.
Well, I'm already got, so I mean, I'm not saying that guys are better than women or women are better than guys. I'm saying that women can go out there and do this and not have to have a man.
That's it. But, you know, and get back into the catfish conservation. Let me qualify some of this with what's going on here in our state. There is some conservation efforts going on catfishing, particularly larger catfish. Remember, like Paula said, it takes about, 10 years for a blue cat to reach 34 inches. And remember, in Tennessee, you're only allowed one catfish, over 34 inches per day. And that was to try to protect those larger fish. Remember, catfish don't live that well. They actually are fairly long-lived as far as a fish goes, 20 to 25 years maximum. And so it takes that catfish half of his life to reach that 34. You get into things like the flatheads. They grow quick when they're small, but as they get larger, they slow up a whole lot. But let's say the flathead is the top predator on Kentucky Lake. There is no other fish out there that can eat as well and as quickly as a flathead, and one of the best fish out there to catch. But, you know, conservation-wise, she was talking about commercial fishing, and we don't want to dog commercial fishermen. Commercial fishermen are actually a quite good management tool, because remember, any population, there's too many of anything, the rest of the population doesn't have a chance to grow very well. So by keeping those populations, we're talking to catfish here, down, that leaves less fish to compete with more food. So more food means they grow
bigger
quicker.
Fish.
So commercial fishermen's a great thing. But protecting those large fish is where most of the effort is. And
by protecting the larger fish, the trophies that we are all after to catch and release is mostly pay lakes. The fish market is not paying good for the commercial fish.
Yeah, for
for
eating
commercial
fish.
fishermen to go and sell for consumption. So the pay lakers are getting paid top dollar to come to my state.
What is a pay laker? What's a pay lake? Let's start off with that.
A pay lake is someone's built a lake, and then they have stocked it with a wild animal, a wild fish. They took it out of its natural habitat, put it in a pay lake. They charge people to come in there to catch it 20 times a day. They don't feed them correctly, and they die.
So what they do, I guess, is you go to this private pond,
right?
And you get to catch the fish out of there.
But you can't keep it.
On the big fish, from what I understand, the bigger ones, you catch them, you reel in, you take your picture, you're supposed to put it back.
Right, but
now not all pay lakes
that's not the habitat they're used to.
Right.
They're a wild animal. That, you know, you're taking them out of their river and putting them in a pond. You know, that's not good. That's not good for conservation.
But now some of these pay lakes raise trout.
Well,
they call them stock trout.
Right,
and some of them raise catfish from eggs.
I wouldn't have a problem with pay lakes if they stocked them with pond-raised fish. You know, but don't take them out of the wild.
So the real problem is that people are taking fish out of the wild, these large fish that, what we call it CPR. What does that stand for?
Catch, photo, and release.
You know, it's very important on those larger fish, and me and Paula practice this. If it's much over 10 pounds, actually, we don't keep them. And we catch, we take a picture, and we release CPR. And that guarantees that our kids, our grandkids, there'll be enough fish out there that you can enjoy reeling these big fish in.
Correct.
The small ones under 10 pounds, there's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not going to hurt anything.
And I want to touch on that. In the state of Tennessee, they have a consumption advisory in certain areas to not eat the fish because of contamination, where you've got heavy metals, PCPs, what else, Ken?
Mercury.
Mercury,
Which
and
is a
all
heavy
that
metal,
sinks to the bottom. Well, where's your bait fish? Usually on the bottom. Where's your catfish? On the bottom. Okay, the smaller the fish, the less likely they're going to have.
We're not
as
exposed to it for as long of a time, so they're
Right.
not building as much up.
Right, and the larger the trophy size, they're full of contamination because
Sorry about that.
they're full of contamination because the contamination holds in the fatty part of the fish. So one of the proposals that I want to really push is the Tennessee River runs off in 7 different states. So these fish don't know that you can fish from point A to point B but no further because that's where they're contaminated. There's no stop sign out there. So I would like to get the FDA involved and say, hey, if these fish are too contaminated for pregnant women to eat, or anybody to eat, then let's put it in restaurants that, hey, you're taking a risk of eating a contaminated fish. And that's where the commercial fishermen come in, where they have a limited size that are less likely to be contaminated.
That's a good point. And, one thing I want to bring up is blue cats. Remember, we got 3 different main kinds of catfish: the blue, the flathead, and the channel.
We don't like channel.
Yeah, well, they're good to eat.
Well, I don't like channel.
The blue cat, that's the big one that we get.
Right.
Those things can move hundreds of miles.
Right.
And so it's like Paula said, that they can be coming from these contaminated areas. Like, what is the lake up in the Watts Bar that had the ash?
In Kingston Springs, they had TVA had an ash. Their holding pond gave way, and I mean that's
10, 15 years ago. But
right.
That contained heavy metals and a lot of other pollutants that got into the water system.
There's no commercial fishing allowed at
You can
Watts
fish,
Bar.
but you can't commercial fish. And that's to protect the public. But what's to say those fish aren't coming all the way down here
There's no
or to
telling
an
where
area
they're
that
at.
you can?
Correct.
And so that is an issue that I think that needs to be looked at very closely. We've got good friends that are commercial fishermen, and I'll tell you, those guys are just as conservation minded as you and I.
As we are.
But again, up in Kentucky, Ohio, and some of those areas,
It's a whole
the
different
pay lake,
ballgame.
they can get $2.50 a pound
Correct.
for a fish over 50 pounds versus little or nothing for the meat market. And so where are they going to sell it to? They're going to sell it where they get the best money.
Well, because they've got to make a living also. But
these big fish are an anomaly. Paul always gets on to me using those big words, but they're rare. Fish over 50 pounds, catfish over 50 pounds, have to have so many different things happen. They got to have good food, good genetics. They got to have a good environment with good oxygen and everything. And if these fish are taken out of the system, it takes so many years to get more of them. So let's protect them.
Right, and what does that leave our grandchildren or our children? Nothing.
And they're the best breeders, the
Right.
big fish.
Right. Another thing I wanted to touch, call your, we got a lot of people that, let's do something about conservation or blah, blah, blah. Do something about it. Don't
Call
just
your
talk about it.
commissioners.
Call your commissioners. Call your local government. Call your state government. Call whoever you have to.
Here in Tennessee, you contact your TWRA commissioners, Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency's commissioners. They are listed in the hunting and fishing guides, actually at the very front of it. So if you have any concerns, contact them, get the hunting fishing guide, trapping guide, and they got those names in there. And again, they're not going to vote on anything this year, but I certainly would love to hear any concerns.
Right.
If you want a regulation change.
Right. If anybody that's listening or on my live right now, if you have any concerns, any congestion.
Yeah, we got that.
I've got the congestion. message me on Messenger or Facebook, and me and Kim will write down what you're wanting, what you feel like would make changes, and you wouldn't believe the research. It's like I get off work, come home, and it's going to college. I've got paperwork this big that I'm going through trying to see what we can do to get these regulations better for not only our state, but for Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, all the states that I just mentioned. Tennessee has probably got the best regulations, and
they're few, but they're the best.
But they're the best, and I want better. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to say throw my hands up in the air and give up. I'm going to keep climbing this mountain until I get to the top of it and protect these fish.
Now, if you're not. There's different ways to help if you have a concern, and one of them is contact us or your commissioners and let them know, but also the American Catfish Association, ACA. You can look them up online. You can join that, and of course, the money that you pay to join this goes to different conservation efforts, among other things. There's some benefits,
right?
But
And
you'd have to go there to see all that stuff.
I think the ACA is really going to help the catfishing community. I think that
this is being backed by Bill Dance, one of Tennessee's
right,
natives.
and Bill Dance, is he not the one that got the 34-inch?
Yep, he was. Years ago there weren't any
Tennessee.
size limits on our catfish, and Bill and some friends said, you know what, we need to look at this. And got that passed, as well as some commercial fishing regulations this last year. Bill was instrumental in getting commercial fishermen in Tennessee cannot possess a 34-inch or larger catfish alive. They actually have to kill it. They cannot, I know that sounds bad, but what that does is prevents them from selling that in other states or our state to a pay lake.
Right, and you
Unless
cannot,
they take dead fish. You can sell it as a meat fish, but that's it.
You cannot cross the state line, correct?
No, as long as it's taken legally commercially, it can go wherever it wants.
Okay, see, there you go. There's my first, thing to ask.
But there's so much stuff out there that we can do, and again, that ACA is a great start for people. And again, the catfishing tournaments, I think there is actually one in Wheeler tomorrow. Don't know of any locally, but if you're interested in getting into the tournaments, listen here on the show. I try to announce them. We got a local one called the Mad Catters out of, it's kind of out of Waverly, McEwen, Clarksville, back up that way. And there's another one up in Clarksville. There's the Tennessee River, what's the name of that one? Catfish Trail?
Tennessee River Productions, which is out of
Savannah, yeah. They got one, and I'll try to announce those. And guys and girls, if you like catfishing, very inexpensive to get into these tournaments. A lot of great guys that are willing to share a lot of information with you. One thing I've noticed about the catfishing industry, most everyone that fishes is more than willing to tell you there are no secrets. You want to catch a fish, I'll tell you how to catch a fish. And that's one thing that's so good about it. So, get into it, and if there's any tournaments come up, I'll try to share that. Also, I don't want you to forget, Angie, how long is that tournament, or the
voting stops Sunday night.
Okay, so
and
it'll go.
I want to mention again, it's Outdoor Media Summit. And, you vote for whoever you want to, but I would like to see everybody vote for the Woman Angler
podcast.
The best podcast, because she does do great work. And she, I did a seminar with her in Nashville about, a month ago.
Nashville Boat Show. And you got one coming up too, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a seminar the first weekend in March in Nashville at the Nashville Boat and Fishing Expo. At
the fairgrounds, I think.
At the fairgrounds, Southern Woods and Water. And I can't wait. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
There'll be lots of boats. I'm hoping to see the boat of my dream.
Well, have you got any other information you'd like to share before we... I want to go over a couple other things right here at the closing.
The only other thing that I want to bring up, don't forget, go vote. Women, whoever's listening, women out there that's listening, a vote for Angie is a vote for us women, because she will get us equal rights as far as it comes to being women anglers. And also, I don't want to dwell on what's going on at Pickwick right now, but everybody please keep the prayers coming, because we've got 2 families out there that have lost 2 sons and a father, husband, and just keep praying for them.
Nobody knows what happened.
Nobody
so,
knows what happened.
A lot of ideas, but we really don't know.
Right, and let's just pray for the family. So maybe we can get their closure to them. And one thing I've learned from this, and I'm so guilty of it, and I think every tournament should make it a rule that you have to have a life jacket on. Now, most tournaments, adult tournaments that I fish, you have to have a life jacket on when you launch out. But when you're sitting still, you can take it off. And
So when the boat's in motion,
right,
under the big
exactly,
motors, yeah.
and that's okay. But when you've got high school tournaments and water conditions are bad, let's get some safety issues out there, because this is a disaster, a tragedy, and keep those families in your prayers. And don't forget, go vote for the Woman Angler.
Can you hand me that magazine thing right here?
This?
I forgot to tell everybody this. Of course, those that are looking on Facebook, the new fishing guides are out for Tennessee. So go pick one up. They're free at all the sporting goods stores that sell licenses, as well as online, and the mobile app has this as well. Fishing licenses will expire. Tomorrow's the last day you can use a hunting and fishing license. You got to get a new one real soon. Also, I did fail to mention that trout should have been stocked. And again, since I've retired, I actually haven't had time, or I haven't get to the information I used to, but trout stocking actually began this last week. I don't know if they stocked. Oftentimes, if the creeks are up or the river is up, they will forego this week and wait till the next week. So, I can't really say with 100% certainty they did stock, but here in Humphreys County, they stocked Tumbling Creek between 13 and 231. That's at Bucksnort Road, as well as Hurricane Creek there at the Dude Ranch, right there by the mill, right off the bridge.
I do want to say one more thing. I want to thank all my sponsors. Steve Douglas, I want to thank him. Chris Flores.
He's Muddy River Catfishing.
Yeah, Muddy River Catfishing. I even got a tattoo this weekend. I thought my mama was going to beat me to death. But I can't mention them all. Bryce Sturr, Jerry Drawry, Whisker Sticks. There's so many. But and all the people that support me, I appreciate it. Most of the people that I grew up with that are listening know that I was born a tomboy, and there was no getting out of it. So I appreciate all the support, and I guess that's all I've got to say.
Other than vote for Angie at the podcast.
Vote for Angie, yes, go vote
for Angie. What was that at
Angie.
again? Where did they go? I want to get this because Angie is a wonderful person.
She is a wonderful person.
And
she
is
drove all
very,
the way down.
very knowledgeable.
Right. She drove all the way down to the Catfish Conference just to speak to us. And it's Outdoor Media Summit. And there's a poll. And when I last checked, she was 19 points ahead. We got to get her further ahead. We want a landslide. But she is... Just like myself, we are avid,
passionate. That was a good way to put it.
Supporters for women anglers, and
because y'all love it too,
right?
Not just...
We don't do it. I don't do it for the money because there ain't no money in it. It's expensive to do for me because I have to pay for all this. Ken said if I want to do it, I have to pay for it.
And she has.
And so far I have, and I'm eating beans and taters, but I grew up on them, so that's okay. But Angie is a wonderful, wonderful person. And we talked at the Catfish Conference about what we want to do for women anglers, to get them out there. We can do this. It's simple. And once you get it, driving this boat or whatnot, it's a piece of cake. Learning how to use your electronics, it's a piece of cake. Looking for what you're looking for. It's absolutely a piece of cake. I'd like to say hi to Michelle Mock Jones. She did 2 seminars with me at the Wilson County Boat Show, and she'll be joining me at the Nashville Boat Show. And then she's got a TV show coming up that I'll be going to Kentucky to be on it with her. But the catfishing world is growing, and we all need to come together and work together because it's just one huge big family. And once again, please keep these families out of Obion County. They're from Obion County, Tennessee, but the accident happened in Hardin County around Savannah. Please keep them in your prayers. I know the hurt that they're hurting, and just keep them in your prayers.
All right. Well, thank you, Paula, for coming in and helping
You're
me
welcome,
out tonight.
husband.
But in closing, as always, if you have any other questions or comments, sure would like to hear from you. To do so, go to WQMV@Comcast.net. There on the subject line, if you'll put Woods and Water Show, I'll try to get back with you the following week. Also, don't forget Hunter Education class coming up here in about 3 weeks, March 16th and 17th. It's going to be at 1135 Cuba Landing Road. I'm assuming that's Cuba Landing. It's where they're going to be teaching it. Again, it's free, 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. You attend both days. To learn more about that, go to TWRA's website, and that's at tnwildlife.org.
Get your kids out there.
But, so get in on that, and it gives you a place to sign up and everything. But again, thank you for listening every Friday here on WQMV, both 1060 AM as well as FM 93.5. Every Friday at 5:10 with your host, Ken Smith, and your partial host, Paula Smith. So
And thank you, everybody on Facebook, for watching.
All right, we're going to call it for tonight and see everybody next week.
Good night, everybody.
In sports, success is measured in points, wins, and trophies.